No, he's expected to practice today. We gave him off yesterday just for precautionary sake, and feel like we'll judge how he is in practice today, and if he has no complaints and feels okay, then we'll play him tomorrow.
St. John's is a tricky team. Their record shows a 12-game losing streak, but they hung tight with Villanova for a half and are, as you know, a very scrappy, hard-playing team.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows that when Chris took over the program, they lost every senior and a couple underclassmen, one that opted to transfer, one that put his name in the draft, and so he really started with an empty roster. And to his credit, his kids have continued to battle. I mean, they play extremely hard. The first half and really the rest of the game, against Villanova shows the type of effort that his players are given. And I've said this time and time again, regardless of who we play, there are no nights off in the Big East. And although people may want to paint it that way from the outside, our players and coaches know better, and we're going to have to be ready to play tomorrow night.
You've talked a lot about Remy maybe sacrificing some individual stuff for the greater good. You talked a little bit about he's had some struggles shooting lately. Do you see his confidence ebb at all just in the last maybe 7 games where he hasn't shot as well as he did before?
Well, I think the Providence game is an example. I don't think he's shooting the ball miserably. I think he's shooting it fine. What he's not doing is he's not finishing at the basket. Whether it's in transition, whether it's a rip drive in the half court. He's getting to the rim, and last year he would get the and one. He'd make that 2-foot bank shot in traffic, and those are the shots that he's missing. And he's not trying to miss, and sometimes you feel like you're under that rain cloud a little bit. But we need him to still play aggressive. We need him to be able to get to the basket, especially in transition, and hopefully he finishes as we move forward.
A lot of people talk about your depth. Is there any problem that you ever have in distributing the time? Just because you want to get these guys the time, you want to get them on the floor.
A little bit, but it's a good thing. Again, players have to sacrifice, and that's not always the easiest thing to do. But we tend to keep guys out there that are giving great effort, that are also producing results. And so some games you may have a guy off the bench playing 25, 26 minutes, and another night he may play 17 or 18. So, effort dictates how long you're going to be in there, foul trouble as well. And then, ultimately, are you bringing energy and are you productive? And so, I think our players by and large have answered that bell, and it's been a fun team to coach.
During the Providence game, the rule about limiting coaches calling timeouts during live play came into play in your favor, I guess. But
right.
What do you think about that rule in general? And would you like to see them revisit that one?
No, I don't have any complaints with it. Generally when a player is struggling for a loose ball and it's about to be a jump ball situation, they're probably more mindful than the coach is, whether they can rip it out of traffic before a jump ball is called or if they know they're going to need the timeout. And in those situations, I'm all for it because it's very difficult for a referee to look at the coach, see if the player actually has possession. It worked out favorably against Providence, but there have been other times where I got the timeout and Trayvon shot the ball as I was calling timeout, and he hits a three. So, it works both ways. I know people want to, put the spotlight on JP's big shot. Which I'm glad they are putting the spotlight on it, but it doesn't change my opinion of the rule at all. And as long as both coaches are playing with the same rules, I've got no issue. That was easy. Thanks.